Hello.
Hi Fatma, did has the instructors joined yet?
No, Albert is not here yet, which is awkward because usually he gets here like 5 minutes early, but today he's not here yet.
Yeah, that's why I dropped in. I'm like, I'm supposed to be in a meeting, but let me just see
Mhm.
what's going on because I don't know if anybody talked to you yesterday about what's going on internally.
I
We had some instructor changes, and so that's kind of messed up the entire schedule.
Yes,
Uh, 1 minute, so he's coming.
yes.
Good.
I
Okay.
heard from Albert yesterday that he's gonna teach some classes now, so the schedule is changing. It's okay with me, just because I know the conference is around the corner. It doesn't give us a lot of availability. You and me, we both. Um, you can completely cancel the fuzzy match class. I am not urgent to get that course done.
Okay. Let me make a note of. I'm just going to put it in the chat
Mhm.
just so that I have it. Okay.
And then,
What I'd like to do is,
yeah,
I moved the class from Monday to Friday, if that's important to you, and I extended the Friday class on the 12th to 4 hours, the blending data.
yes,
Is that an important class for you?
it is. Yeah, anything under the core certification and advanced certification is important for me. But fuzzy match, maps, spatial data, I'm completely okay if you guys cancel those classes for now.
Okay. Fuzzy match maps, and what was the other one?
uh, Maps, fuzzy match. I think spatial data was yesterday, so I don't think that you guys. So according to my calendar, so timings, I don't know if you changed the timings. There is one advanced data prep on the 9th, which initially showed at 6 a.m. Is there any change on that one?
That one, I'm sorry, let me just,
Yeah.
I forgot to tell the person I'm supposed to be in the meeting, so I'm gonna be a few minutes late.
Mhm.
All right, let me check. I'm working on the calendar right now in between meetings. Let me see.
Do you want me to share the
Um,
calendar that I see on my website on the Learning Marketplace?
Say that one more time, you cut out.
Do you want me to share the calendar that I have signed up on the Learning Marketplace?
No, I have that. So what I have is the comments. I'm in the process that I met with the team yesterday on who could support what classes, all the instructors. So we're canceling everything on the 9th and 10th, the 9th through the 11th. We don't have any instructors to support those that week. They're all booked. So those four are going to cancel. The week of the 15th, we have some options. So if there's some priorities there, sorry, totally took over your class, Albert.
I
If
see
there's
that.
some, if you have any classes the week of the 15th that you have priority, that maybe we're canceling on the week of next week that we can move over, we could talk about that. Um, Maybe after your class today, if you want to sync up, we can just talk through the schedule, what's important to you, and then figure out how we can support that. Okay.
Okay. You know what? Since there's some unexpected changes, really the only thing I want to get it done before I go to the conference is these advanced data prep sessions. I think those are two long sessions. Advanced prep one. One of them I see that it's on 9th. It's called Advanced Data Preparation 1. And there is one also Advanced Data Preparation 2. If you can just keep those two, that's okay with me. And then, I can get other classes done during the summer when you guys have more availability.
Okay. So you have for Friday this week, you have um I closed it. 1 second. You have Friday, you have maps and Alteryx and blending data. Sorry, blending, yeah. Blending data and maps and Alteryx. Do you still want those two?
I just want the blending. I don't want anything else.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna cancel you out of the maps class. I'll reduce the time for the blending, and I'll talk to the instructor, see if he's okay with teaching a little bit, maybe, and Albert chime in, the advanced data prep. Can she start that on Friday with the blending data?
I mean, so I was actually going to talk to her about this class today. So this is, Fatma, I don't know if you've looked at the material for this class, but this is stuff that you've already mastered. So, I mean, preparing data 2, that's a core class, but it's a combination of, like, I can show you the presentation, but it's like filter, formula, sample, and sort. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole class. So it's like a mishmash of smaller classes that you've already had. So what I was going to suggest is today, instead of doing that, if you want to review that, we're good, but we definitely don't need to spend 3 hours going over that because you've got that on lock. So what I would suggest is we didn't get to finish the spatial one yesterday. If you want to work through the case study of the spatial class from yesterday, and then if you want to start on advanced data prep, and we can start working through that. I don't have those. I'm not prepped on those, so it would just be kind of, both of us reading through it at the same time. But
Spatial data, I need to review the learner files first, and I couldn't do that. I was in meeting in the morning. But I really, really want to learn right now is those tools that generate rows, multi-field binding, multi-field formula, multi-row formula, imputation. Like I really need to learn those to understand the workflows in my workplace right now. I think they might be falling under the advanced data preparation class.
let me look real quick. Yeah, so ADP1 is mostly regex, so I don't know if you use that. ADP2 it's the base of the dynamic tools, so dynamic rename and select, and then multi-row, multi-field. I don't think we have a class that covers impute. I can just go over that with you. I used that in my last job, so impute's super easy to figure out. You can just go on the community and look up what they have there for it. But
okay, for today, Albert, like even if you don't have to go through the presentation, I can just share my screen and I can just solve each workflow so that I can have an answer key for each one. The workflows, I think, if there's extra time, then maybe if you prioritize those tools that I need to learn.
Sure. Which workflows are you talking about?
The one under today's class folder, which is called Data Prep 2, they put daytime functions learner workflow, filter tool workflow, string position rank learner workflow, and they have a case study.
We can, if you want to go through those, we can definitely do that.
I think it'll be good for me to master the tools better.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll let you guys take over your class. Albert, let's think after just to figure out how to give Fatma credit for whatever she's learning. And the other thing is do you need access to any of the content, because it's all loaded in by course. It's all linked in there for Fatma. So if you need me to go throw files in there for this session, I just need to know and which ones they are, or you got this covered.
Fatma, do you have all the files, or?
For today's class, I have the preparing data 2 learner files.
Okay.
Because I downloaded.
But that's what you wanted to go over. We can stick to the schedule. Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to make sure you didn't need any more files.
But the class that you guys canceled, conditional statements, the folder is missing the data set. Albert already took a of this. I was gonna do the class by myself because when I registered, it gave me a chance to download the zipped material. I was gonna cover the class by myself, but it's missing the data set.
It's also missing in the instructor. I was gonna tell Jamie. Yeah. Do we just send that to Jamie?
Yeah, I'll send him an email right now because if it's not there, I don't have
Well,
it
let,
either.
let me send it to him because
Okay.
that way nothing gets lost. I mean, Fatma and I were the ones that pulled it up, and so yeah,
Okay.
everything's in there but the data. So I'll let
Okay,
him
I'll
know.
let you. And just include me just so I know when to upload the new files.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay.
cool.
All right. If you guys need anything else, just reach out. I'm on Teams.
Will do.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
you.
All right, before I forget, let me send this email.
Yes.
Jamie, CC Tawny. Oops. Let me grab the link real quick so he knows what we're talking about. Conditional statements using the formula tool. Okay. All right. Yeah. So what you actually use the imputation tool?
Like, there is these complicated workflows which was created for the reports that I need to create. And I didn't see that one particularly, but he has this multi-row formula, multi-field formula, all of those a lot of times showing up. So I thought maybe they're all related.
Okay.
But let's just get done this folder, the workflows under this folder first.
Okay.
And then I don't know what the order is supposed to be. Is it the string position one first, or is it the filter one first?
It starts with filter. So got it. Dang it. I've put off my computer restart
Okay.
a million times, and now it's telling me I've got to restart. Hold on, let me see. This popped up during the class earlier. Damn it.
What else classes did you teach today?
So earlier, Staples, I taught the second and building apps class. So that's a shorter class. And then yesterday, the one was like long. That was a 2-hour apps class. And then I had the FAA at noon, but that was just office hours today. So I couldn't solve any of their problems. Like they're coming in with stuff about like uploading to databases and errors they were seeing. And I was just like, yep, I can write that down and take it to somebody that might know, but I don't know. So, okay. It looks like I'm going to have to restart my computer. Okay, if I just do it now, I don't want it to be like a surprise while we're talking.
You can
So
restart it.
yeah. So the first section of the slideshow is a review of previous stuff. Then it goes into filter tool. And so, yeah, then I can bring up the group because I didn't have the workflows up. So
Okay.
there's the first workflow.
Let me share my screen. And then this is the filter one. Okay. And then
Filter tool learner is the, yeah.
Filter tool.
So it's super easy. If you want to just start working on that, and you'll probably have it done by the time my computer reboots.
Okay. this is my first time seeing it, and then we can just check my answers. So this,
It's super easy. You're just dragging a filter and configuring it. So, all right, let me reboot and I'll see you in 2-3 minutes, however long it takes.
so data set is client manager year deadline fiscal year. How many customers have their status as delivered? Oh. This is really easy. I didn't know that it's gonna be this easy.
Mhm.
Okay, but
That's why I said this is
is the whole
not going to
thing,
challenge you.
like the whole class is like that?
The case study is putting a lot of
Combination.
it's putting a bunch of tools together, but it's all same thing. It's all super simple. So
Then maybe after I
if you want to skip straight to the case study, then maybe we can just
yeah, I can do that. Let me finish
Yeah.
the filter.
Sure.
You know, I think I can also just leave them in the halfway done. I'm sure I can do them on my own.
Mhm.
Is there a way like you will be emailing me the solutions to check my answers, or
We didn't have much luck with that last time, did we?
you were able to do that before and then it just happened with one case study? But I was
The
thinking
workflow?
if you open the workflow, the solution workflow, and save it under your name on your desktop, don't you think that it should allow you to email them anyway? Because it won't be their file anymore.
As I recall, it was something with the security at your end.
But before
Or
you
that's how it seemed.
can you
Good.
just try to email me now? Let me check if I can get the
Sure.
key for filter tool learners, string position learners, datetime function learners.
All right. Sent you a case study.
Okay, let's see. Um, yeah. Oh, you just okay. This one. Yeah, it looks like I have the solution. For the learners, YXMD, you want to just skip those, or do you want to also send them?
Which one are you talking about?
These datetime functions learners.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's you're just making it's the stuff that you and I have gone over before. So when we did the formula tool class,
Okay.
just you're throwing a formula tool on there and you're doing datetime functions in the formula tool. Super basic.
Do you think this formula button for the solution to the case study is have an exclamation mark? And is it just happening with me, or?
No, that's just because it's working off of metadata. So you haven't run it yet for the auto field to change the field type or data type.
Okay, let me see.
Once you run it, it's fine. Yeah, because it's saying you're trying to do arithmetic functions with strings. But once you run it, it's not a string.
Is it supposed to be this data set, be your set data set?
What's that? Yeah, that should be, you got the file package for this class?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't send you the package workflow. I just sent you the workflow only.
Okay, then if I,
Yeah, so it should be in the data sets there. Yep, be yourself. There you go.
and now when I run this, okay, it worked. Okay, wonderful. All
Yeah.
right, that's perfect. Okay, then, all right, can I ask a question before we start the next one?
Of course.
Now, remember how I was telling you that they asked me to do this completion report? I have these assessment results for, this is what students took this test last week. And
Yeah.
I have the enrollment file. So for assessment results, it doesn't show me the student names, but it has the student ID column.
Mhm.
And the students will only show up if the student took the test. However, the enrollment is all the students who are in those schools.
Mhm.
So in order to decide what percent was the completion for this test, let me show you what I did. First, I joined these
Mhm.
using the student ID column. And then I think I deselect some columns that I didn't need it. And then what I came to this is, and this test was only supposed to be taken by kindergarteners, first graders, and second graders. So I used the summarize tool to figure out the number of students took the test. And then I made sure that I have the data only for grades 0, 1, and 2. And then, yeah, there were some Spanish tests that I had to eliminate. And then number of students took the test. I sort them by the grades. Now, up to this part, these are only the results. So I got the results for each school. There's 2 tests, math test and reading test. And then I just figured out how many students took the test for each grade level for each school. Then for enrollment data, again, I used summarization tool to count how many students we have in each school, in each grade level. Again, I filtered out only for kindergarten, first and second graders. I sort them. I changed the column header from count to total students. And then I used the sort tool. What I did is here, I joined these 2 data sets. So now when I joined them, I have a data set, school name for each test, math or reading test. For each grade, I have the number of students took the test, and I have the total students for each grade level. I think I deselect some columns here, and then this is where I am right now. After this sort button, I have the district name, campus name, which is the same thing as school name. I think I don't really need to, I think, have both of them, so I can, because they're matching. Now, the question is, I have the 60, for example, for the first school, grade kindergarteners, 67 took this test, but they have 70 students. Now, I can use the formula tool and I can just, divide 67 by 70 and multiply it by 100 to calculate the percent. But I was thinking if there's any other fancier way, like would you use cross-tab formula or something to pivot the data?
No.
How would you embed the reporting tool here to maybe show them kindergarten column, first grade column, and second grade column, and show them the percentages?
Well, so the percentage is the only number that matters.
Yeah.
What columns do you want? The different grades?
I want the percent of completion for each test for each grade and each school.
You don't have each grade there.
No, these are grades, it's like grade 0, grade 1, grade 2. So kindergarten is grade 0, first graders are grade 1.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you just pull down the interactive chart tool
Okay,
and just figure out what kind of chart you want.
interactive, where was it? I totally forgot. Is it on the interface? No,
No, it's under reporting.
it's on the reporting. This one.
We got to do your percentage first.
Okay, so that's the only way. I will just create a formula. I wouldn't pivot the data or anything.
No.
No? Okay, then let me just bring a formula here. And then just call this percent of completion. And then I am going to divide number of students took the test by, I don't know if they're going to divide it, or maybe I should change them to some numeric data first. Oh, it does. And then multiply this by 100 so I can get the percent directly. Okay. Yes. So is there a way I want only 2 decimal places after the point? Like I want first one to show up only 95.71.
Mhm.
Is there a way to this? Do I decide this on the formula bar or?
No, the data type. So I'll put the data type as a fixed decimal.
Oh, I didn't know. I missed that part. Fixed decimal means just the 2 digits?
Mhm.
Or what about precision?
Expand. Yeah, it should be like 19.2.
Oh, okay.
Whatever the last number is, you got to put 0.2 on there.
It is 19, but it doesn't allow me to manipulate it.
Weird. Open it out a little bit.
This window.
Oh, sorry, scale to. That's how you do it in the,
Okay.
if you're doing it in the select tool. Okay.
Now, yes. Okay.
you
So I have the district campus name. Maybe I should get rid of this right grade numeric. I should have the test name, number of students took the test. Okay. Now, I think this is all the information I need. So could you please
Yeah.
now help me to put it on a report tool?
Sure.
Reporting.
The interactive chart tool.
Interactive chart tool. This one, just drag it here.
Mhm.
And then do I click on configure chart?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Go to add a layer.
add layer.
What type of chart do you want?
Maybe a bar chart.
Mhm.
And then, oh, I need to tell them the X column. X column. Does it allow us to put both district name and when you drill down, it will show you the campus name or?
Probably.
Because,
I'm not good with reporting tools, so we can stumble through it together, but
because I need to specify the test name for each
Mhm.
school and each district. So we have actually 3 things that we need to get detailed on the x-axis.
Mhm.
I think it only allows you to district. Does it not? It doesn't allow me to add multiple things.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how to do it. Put your percentage on the y-axis.
Percentages on the y-axis. percent of completion. I didn't spell the of correctly, but this is not going to be correct because it doesn't show me whether these are math tests or the reading tests.
Um,
What about
yeah, I don't know how to do this well enough to talk you through it. I would have to mess with it myself.
It's okay. So maybe then I can only right now with my knowledge, I can only output this to a Excel file as a table, right?
Yeah, right now, I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's easier if you're not automating this completely, it's easier to do this in Tableau.
Oh, yes. But you mean just input this final data sets? Yeah,
I mean, Tableau or Power BI, they're both better at making visualization. So
they did.
yeah, I could probably muddle through and get it done in Alteryx. It's not something I'm confident with enough to do it over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Um,
They did it with Power BI. The person who is doing these reports,
mhm.
completion analysis, but his workflow is very complicated. He put the district, then the schools, then he renamed those math and readings. I think he created a new column with a combination of what the test type is with the grades. Then he
Yeah.
created this chart. But okay, I was just trying to make something easier. So whenever they ask me this report again, I can just handle by myself. But
You can do it. I'll if you want to send me that data set, maybe I'll play around with it and see what I can make happen.
okay,
Or if you just want to just package that workflow and send it to me, if
okay.
if that's not something, I don't want to get you in trouble for, but I don't see any attribution there. There's no student IDs or anything that I can see.
So is this how
There's
you
no student names.
do? You just right click and then
What's that?
how do you create a package with this?
Go back to the workflow.
Mm-hmm.
Go to options.
Options.
Go to export workflow.
Export workflow.
And then save that.
Save it. Okay. And then
Okay, and then in that folder you should see a WP, like a zipped file.
let me see. It's just in my download, so I should. Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, ZP. Sorry, not WP.
Okay, I'll just, if you have time, and then you can just help me to
Sure.
change it to a reporting, that would be cool. But if not, that's
Yep.
completely fine. Okay. All right. Now I have the solutions. Now I know you have been busy these days, so busy. So do you want to continue with those tools that I was never exposed, or you what is your plan for the rest of the time?
It's up to you if you wanna finish the if you want to finish the spatial one, we can work through that one.
Oh, spatial one is giving me a headache. No, I don't want to do the spatial one.
Oh.
It was so hard.
I mean, we'll work through it together, then maybe it wouldn't give you a headache.
No, right now, like it's not emergency, so I am okay to skip it for now. But for me, if there is a way that under that preparation, if you can go through the other tools that I wasn't exposed before.
Okay. So the advanced data preps?
Yes.
Got it. Have you used regex tools at all?
Well, I was studying on my own little bit. Yeah, I think you need to know the language to be able to utilize the tool, right?
I mean, it's pretty simple. It's when you talk about like know the language, it's not more complex than SQL.
Okay. I think I have seen it in a couple of those challenges that they post.
Yeah. It's not, I mean, it's one of those things where like, yeah, if you geek out with it, it's complex. But just doing like the regular stuff that's, mostly useful, that's pretty simple. So, but if you want to do the second, but they're not dependent on each other. They're completely separate. So one class is nothing but regex. The other class is, I don't know if it even does the dynamic tools. Yeah, it does the dynamic tools. Okay, but we can do, you said you need multi-row formulas and whatnot. So we can definitely do that. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. I thought you're the only instructor right now. When she was telling me that she's going to check with the instructor, is she not talking about you?
There's one other that we've got contracted. He has limited availability because he has another job. So mm, 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 mm. All right, so we've got a segment on multi-field, multi-row. I think this is backward actually, but we'll see. And then we've got a segment on dynamic rename and dynamic select, a little bit on workflow constants. I don't think you and I have talked about those before. So workflow constants are an interesting concept. So we'll spend a couple minutes on that, and then we'll work through a case study, which I believe ties everything together. Do you have the materials for this one? Do you need me to send them to you?
What is this one called?
This is Advanced Data Prep 2.
Let me check. Nope, I don't have it.
Okay. Oh, was it the zipped file that wouldn't go through?
Oh, actually, Advanced Data Prep 2, right? I have it. Sorry. It was just in a different,
Okay.
different folder. But yeah, I downloaded, I think, when I registered it. If it is not missing the data set, I have a data set, weekly sales, and then
Okay.
the workflows. I just have the case study workflow, but nothing else.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only workflow.
Okay.
So,
Wonderful.
alrighty, should be good.
Mm-hmm.
Let us proceed. Yeah, what? No, it is that way. Okay. Cool. So, yeah, formulas are good, but remember, we talked about a formula can only do one thing, and it can only go across the row. So it's a little bit limited. You can't incorporate different fields and different rows in creative ways, but you need your multi-row and multi-field formulas to do that. So, and without repeating the same formula, if you need to repeat the same formula for different columns with the regular formula tool, you have to put either one tool after another or write one formula after another to run in sequence. With if you want the same formula for different columns, if you have very consistent like sales numbers like this, you can use the multi-field formula and that will solve that problem. So yeah, you could set up a formula for each column, same thing, or you can just do it with a multi-field formula and apply it to all of them. So apply the formula to more than one field. You just click in your little check boxes and decide which ones you want. You select a copy to copy the output fields and add to create new fields with a prefix or suffix. that doesn't strike me as terribly useful unless you're just working with like reams of data that is just, you know, if you had like machine specs or something like that. You can put in these dynamic field names. So current field, original fields, and then you can do current field +1, current field -1, in order to pull values from different fields. Original field contains a list of all fields in the data. So the original fields are not dynamic. You're just naming the field. So like student ID, you're pulling one field there, and they always represent the same field. So if you need to change the output type of the field, you can select that option, and then you can write an expression to be applied to each selected field. Now, there's one annoying thing about that expression editor in both multi-row and multi-field formula, and that is it does not validate the expression as you go. So, you know, in formula, as you're typing, if you type toNumber and then you fill in the stuff to, you know, all of the required fields for toNumber, then it'll light up in a bright color. It'll be like violet or blue or something like that. And so you know it worked. But with this, all it's going to tell you is if it doesn't work, you'll get an error message down here. If it does work, the error message will clear, but it won't tell you, hey, this part's working, this part isn't, you know, give you a little squiggly line. So not quite as responsive as the formula tool itself in that regard. So if you want to use data from another record, now you're talking about using the multi-row formula tool. So this is something that the regular formula absolutely cannot do. Sorry, I have to respond to these. Weird. Okay, so you're updating an existing field or you're creating a new field. Either way, you want to deal with multiple rows. So you want to declare how many rows are usable, what to do when rows don't exist or when they're null, evaluate groups of records together, and then reset your calculation. So if you're grouping by something, you don't have to group by anything. That's why it says optional. And then you can include special variables. So you've got those dynamic expressions, the active row, or, you know, just like saying current field, row +0 is the current row. So if you need to add each row to the row before it, if you need a running total and you don't feel like using the running total tool, you can just do, you know, row +0 plus row -1, and then you'll get a running total going down your sheet. So very simple example of a multi-row formula. This one right here, sales minus row -1 sales. So it's current row sales minus the sales from the previous row. You would get the opposite. You would get a kind of running total subtracting the previous. Okay. Already a check on knowledge. Look at that. Which of the following statements are true? Select all that apply. You can use the multi-field formula tool to apply the same formula across multiple columns.
Yes.
That is true. You can use the multi-field formula tool to select and deselect columns that the data passes through.
Yes.
Make a note for curriculum design that this is kind of silly.
Is it because is it true or false, the second one?
Hold on. I feel like, why is there a check on knowledge on slide 8? You can use the multi-field formula tool to select and deselect columns that the data passes through. Select and deselect columns the data passes through. That I don't know. I mean, you can select and deselect columns that your formula applies to. Weird. That's strange wording. Okay, we'll find out together, I guess. It's saying B is not true, but it doesn't give an explanation. That's poorly worded. You can use data. Boy, sorry, this is becoming my QA of the slide deck here. You can use data from other records within the formula tool. No. The multi-row formula tool lets you use data from rows above the selected record. What do you think?
Yes.
Yes, it does. Above or below any rows throughout your workbook. So, okay. So, yep.
Mhm.
All right. We got some work to do on this thing. Yes. Dynamic rename and dynamic select. I'm about to toss my phone. Okay. So systematically rename the columns. So when you use the crosstab and transpose tools, you're not always going to get the column names the way you want. So the new fields are not in the desired format. You don't want the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So you decide, hey, I want all of these renamed. I don't want to sit there and go through the, let's say there was more than 4, because obviously with a select tool, this would be fairly easy. You would just put a select tool and change it. But let's say you had 100 fields or 1,000 fields. Now that's really kind of a pain. So you would use the dynamic rename tool. One use of it is just to change everything in these names. So if you had Q through, Q1000, you could replace all your underscores with hyphens, and now it's Q-1, Q-2, Q-3, and so on and so forth. Okay, so dynamic rename can do a ton of things, but this right here is just one of them. Another thing that you'll find a lot of times is, especially if you're pulling in sheets from an Excel workbook, your headers will come in as just F1, F2, F3 for field 1, 2, and 3. And then your actual column headings are on the first row of data. Dynamic rename can just immediately, it'll strip the headers and move the first row of data up to be the new headers. So a bunch of different things you can do with the dynamic tools. And then dynamic select, instead of going through with a regular select tool and going click, I want this one, click, I want this one, click, I want this one. You can just say contains name units, and then you've selected all of the columns with units. Okay. Again, if there's only 4 columns and only 2 of them are named units, obviously it's fairly easy to just use a regular select tool. When you have a data set with 1,000 columns, this comes in very handy.
I didn't understand, what is this doing? So the original data set is the one on the left?
The original data set is right here. So we've got N sales, N units, S sales, S units.
Okay.
And so obviously with 4 fields, it's not a big deal. We would just use a select tool and just be like, okay, I only want the units fields. So you just sit there and deselect that, right? Okay. So deselect N sales, deselect S sales, and now we've just got N units and S units. If it's 4 columns, that's not a big deal. Multiply that by 1,000, and now you've got a problem, because now you're going to be getting carpal tunnel syndrome going through and manually deselecting everything that says sales in it. Instead, you can just use the dynamic select and write this simple formula. Just say the name contains the string units, then I want to keep it.
Okay. That's perfect. Okay.
Yeah. And then when you're, let's say there's a new column every quarter and you want to automate this to only select the units to go forward with some calculations. Now, every time your data set expands, you're still only getting the units. With a regular select, you either have to go back in and manually change it, or the only other option is if you accept all new fields, well, then it's just going to pick these new fields when they come in. So you're going to get a sales field there. So there's no way to rig this with a regular select to where it's dynamic. The dynamic select, hence the name, is dynamic based on the instructions that you give it. So we added this, north region, south region, west region. The dynamic select will pick that up. And then here, if you're picking up all new fields, now you've got a sales field. So now you're in a situation where when something gets added, even if it's just a new monthly entry, you've got to go back into the workflow and change it. You can't just with this, you can just automate it.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay. Which tool should I use to allow only numeric columns to pass through a workflow?
Only numeric columns. Dynamic select.
Yes. Okay.
I think they're trying
Yeah,
to
so you
say that.
select, when you select field types in dynamic select, so we haven't demonstrated it, but okay. Very quickly talk about workflow constants. This is, can be a complex issue, can be very useful, especially if you're doing workflows that are pulling things from the C prompt, from if you're using like run command, and if you're reaching into Tableau and other online programs and stuff like that. That's super advanced stuff. But so types of workflow constants. To get to your workflow constants, this is part of your workflow configuration. So what you would do is you just go click on your canvas and go into workflow configuration, and then the workflow tab right here. And so you've got your workflow type. This happens to be an analytic app. Not sure why they chose that, but the first set of workflow constants, and before you do anything with a workflow, if you don't put anything in here, if you don't have something that automatically comes in here because it's an app, it should have like app related ones, but these are the ones that just come in here normally on every workflow. So if you go to any workflow you have, go to workflow configuration, the workflow tab, you'll see these: temp file path, version, which is the software version number, the directory wherever the your program is saved, the file name of your current workflow, and I don't know what GIL interaction is, but anyway, yeah, it's right here. If it's run from Designer or an analytic app or from the command line. Okay, neat. Yeah, I've never run a workflow from the command line, but alrighty. And then iteration number, which should be here because it's an analytic app. It's not, which again is confusing to me, but iteration number is the number of iterations that the app has run. Oh, sorry, that would be an iterative macro. My bad. So if you have an iterative macro, so a macro that runs a bunch of times until a condition is met, iteration number is a workflow constant. Now, when you look at iteration number, it's always going to be 0 because you can't watch a macro while it's working. But you can work iteration number into your formulas so that every time that macro iterates, it adds something, it subtracts something, it does something based on the number of times you've run the macro, which is very useful to an iterative macro. Okay. So, but these are, if you go to your formula, if you go into any formula tool and you type one of those square brackets, the first thing you're going to see is your field names. And I think those are in blue. And then the second thing you're going to see are these workflow constants come up. So you'll type one in and you'll type in a square bracket, and right below your field names, you'll see engine.temp file path. And that's a variable that you can insert into formulas or into various tools that will bring in that value. So that temp file path where your temporary outputs are stored, that's a variable. Your software version, that's a variable. So some of these, I don't know how you would use them, but they're there. So a lot of times it may be just to insert a string or, some sort of statement about the version you're using, anything like that, if you wanted to embed that into workflows. So, okay, so those are engine workflow constants. Then you have question workflow constants. A lot of, if you put interface tools on there, which I don't think, have you used interface tools at all?
Nope.
Okay, interface tools are required for analytic apps. They are, you can also put them on macros, but they're not necessarily required for macros. So if you want input, someone to select something for making a macro, then you put interface tools on there. But basically, all an interface tool is, it allows someone outside of the workflow to run it and put in their inputs in a controlled fashion. So they're not actually digging into the workflow. There's a user interface for them that's like an app. So a window pops up and says, you know, what kind of car are you driving? And it tells you like when you're due for maintenance or something like that. So, okay. So many of the interface tools show as question constants. The name of the constant corresponds to the name of the question tool. So you can reference the input tool that you used later on in the workflow. So can be useful for formulas regarding the inputs that you bring in. And then user constants, you can make any kind of constant you want and store it in there. And all you do is you just hit this little plus button and you can make a user constant. So let's say, for instance, you were doing some like trigonometry and you needed pi out to like 50 digits for accuracy. You could cut and paste that in here and make a pi, you know, design a user pi constant and just name it pi. And then you could use that in a formula, and all you would have to do is type in square bracket and it would come up and you just put in pi, and then it inserts pi to 50 digits or whatever you've stored into the workflow. So those are workflow constants. They can be very useful for kind of higher level functions of Alteryx. Best practices for workflow constant: let your future users know there is a constant. Usually this is not something that you habitually are going to check when you come across a workflow, but you will see, you know, if you make a note with kind of a striking color, you know, we used to use, like on Disney, we used to use bright yellow notes on like a pink background. So we could see like anywhere in the workflow, we knew exactly where our changes were and our notes were because it was, you know, yellow on pink, like you're going to look at that. So anyway, but yeah, if you design a workflow constant and you use it, rather than have the person stumbling through the formulas and being like, what the heck is my constant here? Like, they would eventually figure it out, but better to put a note and just say, hey, like this is a workflow constant. It's currently set to 200. And then below this, if somebody else makes an edit and they say, hey, based on recent sales projections, we changed the workflow constant to 170 instead of 200, you know, then you've got kind of a work log in your workflow of changes that are made. So yeah, there you go. Look, I just summarized all of that. Reason the value changed, date the value was changed, who changed the value, that sort of thing. All right, you want to work?
Okay, let's see if I can.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay. Isn't it interesting how they combined this workflow constants with the multi-row formula too?
Yeah, there's some things where, you know, there's certain things you have to know for just for the advanced exam, and they just sort of, they're like, well, this fits here. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't.
Okay, anyway, open workflow, browse, and then it's data preparation 2. Okay, so case study, analyze sales. What is that word? Volatility? Volatility. Never heard about that before.
What is it? Oh, you don't know the word volatility?
No, what does it mean?
Yeah, it just means if something's volatile, it's like a volcano, but it's, you know, it's a metaphor. So like if the stock market is like all over the place, you say the stock market is volatile. So it's, you know, kind of wild and unpredictable.
Oh,
Volatile.
which is true. All right.
Yep.
You have some data on sales and units for various business units. You want to determine how volatile daily sales were for a specific business unit this year.
Mhm.
Okay, So it's kind of small. Let me make it bigger. So import data and only keep fields for the current year. Input the file weekly sales. Use the dynamic select tool to choose the only following fields: company, measurements, and field with data from current year. So first, let's import the data. I need to set up the connection. So this is my input tool. Oh, I think this is just a picture. That was, oh, you know how sometimes they use this strategy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, it's off-putting.
Constant. Sometimes it's the real tool over there. Sometimes it's just a picture. Okay.
Yeah.
Weekly sales. So file, select. Um, okay. This is the data set. Run. Now, this is my first time using dynamic select tool. So I think I would find it under, is it under documentation? No, because the color is gray. I thought,
Look at the shape. It's like a little buzz saw, like circular saw.
I don't think that I can find it under preparation.
It's further to the right.
Further to the right. Is it under interface? No.
No.
Connected?
So nope.
I can search.
So
but-
quick tip. If you hover your mouse over the palettes and you just use the scroll wheel, it'll scoot through the palettes.
I don't know. I don't understand.
Hover the mouse over the tool palettes at the top, and then spin the scroll wheel on your mouse.
Oh, I don't have a mouse. I'm just using my laptop's touchpad.
Oh, that's horrible. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Is it under developer?
Yep.
Under developer, and where is dynamic select? Dynamic arena. Oh, hello. All right. All right. So now they want only company. How do I just tell them that I want company? Select via formula fields. How do I tell them that company measurement? I think it's easy to make the fields with date from current year, or is it easy? No, it's not easy. Okay, I need help here, Albert, set this up.
Just go to fields.
Fields here. Is this gonna be selected? Select via formula?
No. Click that drop down.
And choose types.
Yeah, select field types.
Select field types. And then
Look at the metadata.
let's look at the metadata. Yes, company is VW.
Oh, they're all the same.
Yeah. Measurement is VW strength field with date from current year. I don't know.
Give me 1 second. Nope, I pulled the wrong one. 2, not 1. There we go. Okay, so we're writing a formula here.
Okay, with the dynamic select.
Yeah.
Okay,
So go down, go back to variables, select via formula.
okay, we have formula, and then
Yeah, so just go down to the expression editor.
here, okay,
Okay, so company and measurement.
mm-hmm.
Click open the constants right there in the variables. Just get all of our stuff here. Okay, so company and measurement, what is unique about those two fields amongst all of the fields you have there?
Company
What's
is a
company and measurement? Like, how could we group them? If we want the company and measurement fields, what could we say about them that defines them that excludes everything else?
oh, they are string and other ones are numeric.
No, not true. Everything is actually string right now. So I don't know if that's going to be an issue, but
The other one
right now,
is like date.
nope, think even simpler.
All right,
They're the first two columns.
table set, sales.
No, just that's what's different about them. They're the first two columns. That's it. Okay. So, I mean, if you look at your data, okay, you've got company and measurement, and then you've got 2020, September 8th, 2020, September 15th, 2020, September 22nd. So what it looks like is every week you get a compiled data set with a new field, right?
Those two are static. It's not changing.
But company and measurement are never going to change. It looks like company and measurement are always going to be your first two fields. So you want to write an expression saying, give me the first two fields. So if you look up at your variables, can you see one that would indicate which fields you want by position?
I don't know. Is it under variables?
Nope, it's under variables. Yep, you're good right there.
Under variables, name type. I think name maybe because company.
Nope.
Okay.
I just said we want the first two fields. What would say, give me the first two fields?
Position.
Nope. There's no position there.
Yeah.
Field number.
Field number. I didn't want to see.
Yeah, so double click that. There you go. And then what expression could we make to say, I only want the first two fields?
Field number is less than or equal to 2.
There you go.
Less than or equal to 2.
Okay, and then we need to add to the expression to include fields with the date from the current year. So let's give it an or.
Okay.
And drop down to another line, and there you go. Okay, so do me a favor, just back up, delete the or real quick.
Okay.
Okay, now look down at the bottom. See that kind of validation line there
This
where it
one.
says go? Yeah, so there's nothing there.
Hmm.
So what I was telling you earlier, it kind of is annoying that the expression editor doesn't validate each step as you go, but it will. Right now you have a complete expression, so there's no error message there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so go back, put the or back in there and see what happens.
Now it says there's an error because it's not.
There you go.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's not a very descriptive error. It's not like the regular formula tool where it's a super robust, like it's going to tell you what's wrong. This is just going to tell you in kind of computer code dopey language. You know, it's like, I don't know what a parse error is. What are you talking about? You know, I'm not parsing anything, but never mind. What it's saying is the expression as you have it written will not work. So it's just kind of a binary thing. If you see some angry red language at the bottom, it's not going to work. And you need to figure out what's wrong with it. But the expression editor won't tell you. So sometimes it's actually as simple as, depending on the expression, sometimes you can just get a formula tool, paste it in, and maybe that will tell you the error. But anyway, okay. So we need to say something, fields with data from the current year. How do we get the current date?
Date time now.
There you go, date time now. So let's start with that. Let's build our formula from the inside out. Date time now.
Date time now. Do I just write it like this?
Yeah, and it won't fill it in for you either. So And it's open, close parentheses. There you go. All right. So now you have a complete thing again. So you know you typed it right. You did your fields right. Okay. So you've got, now you would select anything that is field number less than or equal to 2. So you get company and measurement, or you would get any field named 2023. But that's not
possible.
what we need. Or you get any field with date and time now, but we don't need date time. What we need is any field containing the current year.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we need to put date time now within a set of parentheses because we've got to get the year out.
Like this.
Yep. There you go. Okay. Now what expression pulls the year from a date or date time?
Is it year? I don't remember.
Date time year.
Is it like comma? Do I put comma?
Nope. Right outside of that parentheses, put on the left side, put date time year.
Before this one here?
Before. Yeah. Everything, anytime you nest a formula
Hmm.
to get it outside, you have to go to the left. So, yeah. So date time now. Or date time year. Yep.
Okay.
Nope. No more parentheses. You already put your parentheses on it. Nope.
Just take.
I mean, it won't hurt it, but take the parentheses off the front too.
Oh.
Just one.
Okay, I see what you mean. All right.
Leave it. There you go. Okay. So now we're just going to now we're looking for fields that are just called for us 2023, probably for the purpose of this 2020. Okay. That still doesn't help us because the fields aren't called 2020.
Mm-hmm.
They contain 2023 for us. Okay. So, sorry, I'm looking at the answer here.
This is so complicated. I didn't know it. I like it though.
Yeah. This is a weird. Okay, so the field names right now. So go ahead and go to the left of date time year because we've got to keep building more onto this.
Okay, here. Yeah.
Okay. So we've got to deal with the field names. What kind of data type are the field names?
String.
Yes, field names are always strings. So what do we need to do to the field name in order to see if there's a year in it?
Like contains 2023 something. Like that.
Nah, it's so the answer that they've got here, it contains might work. But I would say like dealing with strings is just kind of bad to go. So what I would say is let's double click the name variable right now.
Double what? Double?
The name variable, double click the name variable.
Oh, name variable here. Okay.
In fields. Yep. Okay. So now you're dealing with the name of the fields. Give yourself a space there. It's not going to resolve for a bit. Just give yourself room to think. Okay. So what we need to do to the name is what part of the name is the year?
Beginning.
The beginning, okay? Or the left, right?
Hmm.
Because when we're pulling parts of strings, we want to go left and right. Okay. So the left, how many digits of the name?
4.
Left 4. Okay. So we need to do a left 4 digits on the name. Can you do that?
Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Left parentheses.
Yep.
Name 4.
And it's string, and then how many digits? 4, close parentheses.
And then just keep this date time year.
Close parentheses. No, close parentheses.
Okay.
You gotta, okay. Now, you're getting the 4 digits of the left, but the name is still a string. So, and your date time year is a number. Okay. So you got to make one match.
2 numbers.
So what we're going to do is we're going to convert that left name 4 digits. Now we've got 2020 as a string, but we need to change it to a number. So what command do we put there?
Is it 2 numbers?
2 number.
2 numbers.
And then close your parentheses. Nope, you need one more. You just deleted a parentheses and you put one back. You need one more.
Mhm.
There you go. Okay, now let's just look at that first field. Let's say the current year is 2020.
Mhm.
So now we've got two number, left digit, or left four characters of the name, which is 2020 as a number.
Mhm.
We've got date, time, year, date, time, now, which is 2020 as a number. What's the last thing we need to resolve that error?
Like equals to each other.
There you go.
Okay.
And it works.
There's-
Look at that. And that is our dynamic select, which should always get, now think about that. Why is that dynamic? Because it's always going to pull the first two fields. That's not particularly dynamic. We could have done that with a regular select tool. What's dynamic about it? It is always going to pull every numeric column in that data set from this year. And that's what they say we want.
This is so powerful and it's just so
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
hard to configure it. Now, once you explain, it's no longer hard for me.
Yep.
But I don't
And it's hard just because we didn't put the robust engine expression editor on there. I don't know why, but anyway, it's kind of annoying. All right,
Okay.
let's keep going. If you want to save that, we just did some heavy lifting. So
You know,
yeah, if you want to save.
explain so good. You really explain so well. Therefore,
Yeah, no worries.
therefore, I really like these like virtual trainings because when I want to teach this to myself, it takes forever to figure it out. And then
Yeah,
I get frustrated. But now with your help, I'm actually learning. Good.
nice.
Okay.
Okay, now we're gonna set a workflow constant and we're gonna document it for when you quit and go get like a big tech job and double your salary and somebody has to take over for you and they actually know what you were thinking when you made a workflow constant. So,
My
all right, do you remember where to go to get
very-
workflow constants?
Yeah, I'm gonna just.
It's gonna
stay in my
happen.
position.
Thinking positive thoughts. I don't know if you want to be in tech right now. We're laying people off. Government jobs don't look that bad.
I just want to keep my position. I don't want to, this morning I had
Yeah.
a meeting with Texas Education Agency because my
Mhm.
grant is expiring next year. I was always, what am I going to do once they, kick me
Mhm.
out? But then they told me this morning that they are going to offer another grant to keep this data fellow position in the school districts. So hopefully I don't have to
Yeah.
do a job.
Nice.
Okay, so it says
Yeah, I'll think good thoughts for you. Okay.
a workflow constant for the margin rate. Set
Mhm.
a workflow constant called margin rate with a value of
Okay.
2.
So we're doing something with the workflow, which means we're not messing with tools right now. Where do we go to do things with the workflow?
Good question. I feel like
We're not messing with tools. There's not anything to do with the tool. It's with the workflow. Where do we go for the workflow?
is it like options, view?
Nope.
Okay, good. Workflow. Maybe one of these things, navigation. And
Nope. You're still selecting on a tool. So right now you're configuring the dynamic select tool.
You're right.
It's got nothing. There you go. Now go to, nope. You messed it up.
It's on Canvas?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. If you want to change something with the workflow,
yeah.
like the workflow itself, the whole painting, you click on the canvas and then go up to your configuration pane.
Okay.
So do you remember where we said to do workflow constants?
I feel like
In
it's
workflow.
here.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
Workflow
Okay.
constant. So I remember on your slides, they chose the analytic app, but I'm not going to do that.
Nope.
I'm
This
going
is not an app. It's a standard workflow.
it's a standard workflow.
Yep.
Margin,
So don't mess with that. You're looking, that's your pane for the constants. So you're going to make a new one. What do you think you're going to do?
oh, I don't know. Am I going to add plus sign?
Oh, it's already on there.
Yeah,
What
it's
the hell?
already here. And it's already set to a point 2.
Oh, you already put it in. Okay, good. Cool.
It was already
Okay.
set. Margin rate is, but
That's dumb.
let me delete this. So let's say if I need to delete this,
Yeah.
I just click on this and it automatically gives me user. And I'm just going to tell the name as margin rate. I thought it will just give me some drop down here. And then 0.2. Is this going to work?
Yep.
Okay.
Don't check that because
It was checked though.
no, you can check it. Yeah, because then that will make it input number and you'll be able to use that. So yeah, leave it checked.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah, now you're done.
now create.
So create a comment in the workflow that tells future users about the workflow constant.
Okay, I don't know where the comment is located, so do you think I can just search for it?
If you like. It's in developer tools.
Hmm.
Or not developer, but documentation.
Oh, okay. So bring it, but I'm not gonna. So do I just put this comment on around these two input and dynamic one, or do I just leave it here?
You can put it wherever you want. It's a comment, it's documentation. So wherever you think maybe you would put documentation. So, top left, if you want them to notice it right away, but you probably don't want to put it in the way of your workflow.
Yes, dynamic rename. So let me just put this about this here, dynamic rename.
Why?
And then, yeah. Okay. Is this it?
No, you read the directions. Create a comment in the workflow that tells future users about the workflow constant. Had nothing to do with dynamic rename.
Oh,
You just made a workflow constant within the workflow.
okay. Workflow.
The dynamic rename was a whole different step.
Workflow.
Yeah, just put there is a workflow constant.
There is a workflow constant.
What's it called?
Called margin rate. Is it correct? Called margin rate.
Mhm.
With a value of 0.2. Is that what they had on the solution too?
It doesn't matter. I mean, that's not going to affect anything. That's just getting you in the habit of documenting your workflow. So you should expand that out so people can actually read it.
This one, just make it bigger.
Yeah, any direction. There you go.
Okay. 3, calculate the margin.
Okay, I'll move that comment out of the way so it's not.
Where do I put? Somewhere here.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. Now multiply the value in the sales field by your margin rate. Okay, I think this is where it is gonna get hard because I see the symbol of that tool that I don't even know how to read. This is multi-row.
Mhm.
Multi-row. Okay, multiply the value in the sales field by your margin rate. User constant to override all sales fields with your margin value. Okay, are you gonna help me to get started?
Okay. Yeah, just pull down the. Why is it not up? Hold on. I'm like. Yeah, so that's multi-field formula. Which is the sales field. I think I have a different data set than you.
Interesting.
You have a CSV? This one's set up for an Excel file.
Is it though called business sales?
Yeah, it is, but it's got older data. Let me see if I can see if the CSV is in there. That's really weird. Okay. Yeah, I need to QA the crap out of this workflow. This is the first time I've found one in the training materials that's this bad, but there are a lot of mistakes in this. Okay. The instructions are poorly written. What you need to do is put a filter tool before the multi-field formula.
Okay. Filter, here's the filter tool. All right.
Yeah.
And
And then filter for measurement equals sales.
measurement equals sales. Okay.
And then it's got to have the dollar sign.
Okay, therefore it didn't work. So is it dollar sales?
No, it's sales, like, no. Sales and then in parentheses a dollar sign. Sales space, there's a space there. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now like the true anchor is going to have all of the sales, and then the false anchor is going to have all of the units sold. You still are going to need the units sold later, but
Okay, now do they want me to bring this multi-field formula?
yeah. Okay, so first of all, you're going to select dynamic or unknown fields, because what you want is in future new fields come in, you want to make sure that you're including them. So up top where it says select dynamic or unknown fields.
What do I just
Nope.
delete it?
In the configuration pane? No, you're not deleting anything. Configuration pane.
Yeah, okay, select dynamic or unknown field.
Yep.
And then
Yeah. So you don't want to copy the output fields because you don't want to rename them, and you don't want new fields. So deselect that. That's almost always deselected. So yeah, I don't know why that's on by default, because you usually don't want that with like new fields.
okay.
Okay. Okay, so what do the instructions say?
Multiply the value in the sales field by your margin rate user constant to override all sales fields with your margin value.
Okay, read the next one.
Make the field type an integer, bring all
Okay.
together.
Currently it is what?
The sales, are you talking about sales?
Mhm.
I think they're string.
Yeah, they're all strings. Okay, so go back to the multi-row formula
Okay.
or multi-field. Okay, so you want to change the output type.
Change output type to integer.
Yeah.
Int 16 maybe.
Should be enough. Okay, do this for me real quick. Run the workflow, because I'm not sure why it's
Well,
not.
we
Might be because of the.
didn't put any formula yet, did we?
Yeah, that's fine. Oh. Up top on that select, change it to all fields.
Where? Is it here?
Up top of on the configuration pane. Everything's in the configuration pane. You're not changing anything else. Or change it to click the drop down.
Drop down here.
Yeah.
Numeric text space, all types of fields. Select all
Types.
fields.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now select all. Expand the configuration pane out, because you're missing some stuff there. Nope. You got to be down further. There you go. That's fine. Okay. Select all.
There is select all. Do I just click on
Nope.
this one?
There's a button on the right. There's a button on the right.
Okay.
There you go. Now deselect company and measurement.
Company and measurement is deselected.
Yes. Okay. Now you want to change output type to integer.
This one is integer 16.
Okay. Yeah, now so the expression that you want is you want every field that you've just selected multiplied by the margin rate. So look in the variables field right there where it says current field, original fields, constants.
Mhm.
Just open the first one, open current field. Okay. So you can select current field or you can use and then you'll actually be dealing with the contents of the field, or you can, select current field name, you can select current field type, and then it will put in as a variable whatever the type is. So yeah, you want current field. And then what do you want to do to multiply it by the margin rate?
Multiply.
Yeah. And because if it was in a formula, you could just type a square bracket and it would show you your variables. Because it's a different expression editor, just go into variables and open the constants.
Hmm.
Yep. You got your user margin rate. There you go. And that should do it.
Nope, it didn't.
Run it, see if it breaks.
It's not working.
Did not work.
Mm-mm. There is something wrong with the data types. Formula try to apply numeric operator to string value.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think it's changing the output and you're trying to do a numeric. Let me see. I'm going to see if Esther QA'd this one and made comments, because sometimes I get like an old version.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really weird. Can you email me back? Just email me that CSV file back.
You need weekly sales file?
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm gonna upload it on mine and just see if it works. I can't imagine it does. The only comment Esther made when she reviewed this was to change the instructions such that step 3 instructs to multiply the sales field by the user constant. But if there's nothing in the workflow that changes it from a string to a numeric. So I don't understand how that would even work.
Okay, email has sent.
Okay.
Has been sent.
There we go. Okay, now. Yeah, that's weird. It works for me. Okay, I'm gonna like put them right side by side and just see what the difference is. Because mine are coming in as strings as well.
Yeah, or you could share screen and then I can just watch.
No, because I want to see yours.
Okay, all right.
Oh, mine works because mine is, yeah, for some reason it's set to select numeric fields. Well, there are no numeric fields. They're all strings. Yeah. Let me open. I'm just going to input data and just bring back in that Excel file. And just see
If you want to share screen, you can share and then I can understand the difference. What is your background? Keep the uplinks offline and you have I think it looks like an airplane window.
it's a TIE fighter. It's May the 4th, Star Wars Day.
Oh, see, I didn't watch the movie, therefore I don't understand what's happening.
See? Okay.
Oh, what is this? This is the solution.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. They didn't check the learner file. Oh. There's so many problems with this stupid thing.
Are you teaching
Let me.
the conference, the advanced data preparation? Are you teaching?
No,
Okay, cool.
no. This isn't a class. There are different slide decks for Inspire, but okay. Learner contains CSV. Instructor contains Excel workbook. No 2023 data in instructor. Strings in CSV, obviously, because it's CSV. So instructions don't work. Okay. So I'm going to unshare, you reshare. And we will both just do a workaround. Here's our workaround.
Are we gonna work with the CSV version or Excel version?
Let's work with the CSV version because I don't feel like fixing the dynamic select to pick other years. Okay. And it's just more accurate using CSVs. So we're just going to drop a select in here. Can this? Yeah. Just regular old select. Can this change all the field types? Did we show in the class, can we change field types with this?
I don't know.
Well, here, let's look at the help. Let's see, select field type, button shortcuts, if statement. That's not helpful. Weird. Yeah, okay. Can we use dynamic select to change the data type of the field? Candace says no. Multi-field formula, you can use a custom expression to select fields and change field types. Okay. Let's try that then. Yeah, we'll get more practice with the multi-field formula. Here we go. Oh, no, we changed it all. Dang it. Oh, no, it's good. Now it's wrong. Oh, you put it back. Okay. Yeah, so basically it just keeps the current value, but it changes it to an integer. Okay. So we've got work to do on this workflow. All right, cool. So if you want to go back, yeah, if you want to take it back,
Okay, so I think what you did is right after
Yeah.
this dynamic select, you brought,
Before the dynamic select.
okay, and then here you told them that you want all fields or,
Text fields, because they're all strings right now.
okay, so
So
you
you could do all fields. It's all of them. Select all of them. Deselect company and measurement.
say, and then output to,
Deselect the copy output fields. Yep. Output type to integer 32, which you're doing again in a minute, but whatever.
okay,
And then your variable, you're just going to use current field. So it'll just use the same value. Just convert it to a number.
by doing
All right.
this, what did you accomplish? By doing this, you
We
changed,
converted the data type of all of those fields to numeric without having to go through a select tool, because there's 175 fields.
oh, wonderful, okay,
So
now,
otherwise you just got to go through and like click 175 times
okay,
to change the
now,
field value. So
this dynamic select tells that we want the first two fields.
Mhm.
We want the columns if it has 2023, which
Mhm.
brings us to, now I think it just brings us 54 fields now, right?
Mhm.
Now, also, we needed to filter them only for sales.
Yes.
And now we got stuck here. We were trying to get this one done. So for this one, we said, are they correct? Am I gonna just select all types of fields?
You know, why do we get nulls there?
I don't know. Did I not select the right things for the other multi-field?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get any nulls on mine. Okay, so trace it back and see where those nulls came from.
How do I do that? How do I,
3, just go back through your workflow and troubleshoot.
is it like this?
No, just go back through the workflow and see where it happened.
Go back means that, go back to workflow. This is my workflow. Yeah. Okay.
Just go back through the workflow and see where you got nulls.
Okay. Um, is this what
So, so just track back, go to the input anchor of that tool.
input of this one? Okay.
Okay, so your multi-field formula gave you nulls because it didn't have nulls when it went in, but it had nulls when it came out.
Okay, correct. So what am I doing wrong? So it's giving me,
Look at your message log and see if there's a warning.
conversion errors. Integer 16, something with integer 16.
Mhm.
So instead of integer 16, where did I tell them that I want integer 16?
In the multi-row formula or multi-field formula.
This one, the very first one, it was integer 32.
Okay, but you put integer 16 in the other one. It shouldn't make a difference. I don't know why that is a problem, but go ahead and change it to 32. Now run it.
Okay. It worked.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So by doing this, what did I do now? Let me understand. I am trying to multiply the value in the sales field by the margin rate, make the field type an integer. Is the field type an integer? Yes, because we told them we want integers. And then bring all records together. What do they mean when they say bring all records together?
The records that you separated out in the filter, you got to bring them back together.
So I think I saw from your workflow that you had a union from here to, is it here?
No, wait. Why would you bring that forward? You're already using that data. It's the filter.
Okay,
All the records that you had,
is it,
or did you take out records in the filter? Yeah, there you go.
is it for the two records on your workflow too? When you union them?
Yes.
Okay. Did I do everything correctly with the union?
Mhm.
Okay, now this is more complicated even because some advanced tools are coming. Transform data to have one row per company and per date. Transform the data so all the dates are in a single column and the field order is company, date, sales, unit sold. Good job. Okay. So first of all, one row per company and per date. So we're going to change this from white data to long data, right? So I'm going to use
Mhm.
transpose. And for transpose, the key column will be company.
Mhm.
One row per company and date. So I don't know if I need to choose anything else with the key columns.
You need measurement.
Okay, company and measurement are staying. And then the
Yeah.
dates are getting transposed.
Yes.
Let's see. Company, measurement, name, and value. Okay.
Mhm.
Dates.
All right. So you need to first like convert that to so that your field order and names are correct. So just use a regular select.
Here is my select. So for my select, I want the company. I want the date. So the name is gonna move, right? But I'm
Yeah.
one down. But I will call this as date. And then, so instead of measurement, do they want to just call it sales?
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, I understood from their directions that they want me to use both transpose and cross tab.
Hold on a second. Yeah, really the only thing, sorry, I'm trying to understand what they're doing with this answer key. Okay, so go back to that. Just the only rename you need to do is name to date. Just delete the other two. And you can actually deselect the measurement column.
Okay. Why am I doing this? Because this is going to give me company, date, and value.
Yeah.
Why? Because now, how am I gonna, are we gonna use both of these tools?
Hold on, I'm trying. Oh, okay. No, you need the reselect the measurement.
Mm-hmm. Reselect the measurement.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to leave measurement in. Okay. So you're gonna transpose now,
Oh, so they actually want both of them.
or sorry, you're gonna cross tab.
Cross tab. Okay.
Yeah.
So for cross tab, we're gonna group them by company.
You want to group by company and you want to group by date.
date, and then column
Okay.
headers will be measurement.
Yeah. So you're going to have sales and units sold as the column headers. So that's measurement. The values for the new columns is going to be value. And then you can pick any, there's one per, but just pick some is usually the one I use. So, okay.
Company date, sales, units sold. Is this correct?
Yeah, that looks like what I have.
Okay,
1092. Yep. Okay.
5.
What is next?
Format the field names. Use a dynamic rename tool to remove underscores and trading spaces from field names. So dynamic rename. Dynamic.
Yeah.
rename.
Okay. So look at sales.
Yeah.
Look at the sales header just before we move on.
Mhm.
Okay. What did it look like before?
Sales $sign.
Yeah. And why did it change to that?
I think because of something with the data type, dollar is not there.
Yeah. Well, with it won't permit special characters in header names.
Mhm.
So it's just how it is. So it erases them rather than if you try and type them in, it won't let you type them in. But yeah, rather than do that, it just changes them to underscores. So now you get a bunch of underscores. Okay, so let's use our dynamic rename to get rid of the schmutz.
Okay, I already forgot dynamic rename was on the developer, right?
Yep.
Dynamic rename. And then to remove underscores and trading spaces from field names. So I think I'm going to just choose all of these field names, although it doesn't exist. The problem doesn't exist with
Mhm.
columns, but to be safe,
Yeah.
can I just choose all of them?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want to remove underscores. How do I remove underscores?
Okay, so you're going to want to use current field. So open that up. Ugh.
Are we going to use some trim?
It's easiest to replace the underscores first. So if you want to use a replace function, and then you just have to do underscore and quotation marks and space and then space and quotation marks.
Okay, replace current field, comma, right?
Yeah.
And then did you say,
And then underscore and quotation marks. So that's the string that you're going to replace. Nope, that's a hyphen.
oh, true. So, okay, I want to replace the underscore with nothing. Is this how it?
Yep.
Okay. We want,
No, you want to replace it with a space because look at units sold. Do you want that one word?
okay.
You want a space there. So there you go. And then, okay, now we want to wrap that. So put that whole thing in parentheses.
Don't we replace the underscore from the current field header? There's nothing like current field header, right?
So so dynamic rename only deals with the headers.
No, I missed
So
it.
it's not going to mess with your values.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Mhm.
Replaces it. And then what am I going to do now?
Now we're going to trim because now we just created leading and trailing spaces.
So is it like trim?
Yeah.
And then trim what? Trim.
You don't need more parentheses.
Okay, just erase this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Just trim.
You already put them on. And then at the end, like delete the last.
Okay,
What you do?
sorry. But no, don't you think?
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Just put the parentheses on there. It should be good.
All right.
All right, let's check it and see if it's okay.
Run. Yes, they're gone.
Yep. So that's dynamic rename.
How many weeks did BrainBox experience a decrease in units sold from the previous week? What are they saying?
You got one more step to go.
Mhm.
Calculate the weekly change in units sold. That's to do your multi-row formula.
That's so hard for me to do it. Can you just guide me?
Yeah, just you see the tools you need there?
The tools I need, I think it's the sort tool first. Is it the sort?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And then let's go to the sort. We're gonna sort this. I think maybe, is it units sold?
No. So you're calculating weekly change. So you want it in, you're going to want sort by company first.
Sort by company ascending.
Doesn't matter either direction, but then you want to do date descending or
Okay. Date.
maybe ascending. Okay. Yeah. And then
Is it descending?
no, ascending's probably right.
Okay. Then,
Okay. So run it.
okay, we are trying to order them. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So now you have by company, you have each in date order.
Mhm.
So put your multi-row formula on there.
Okay. Create a new field.
Yeah. So what are you going to call your new field?
Weekly change.
There you go. Sounds good.
Okay. Then,
Okay, so this is important and it can be difficult to grasp. What do you think you want to group by?
I'm gonna group by company.
Yep, that's it. Done. Just company.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because what you don't want to do is you're going to set up a formula that counts like every row. It's like what is it minus the row before? Okay. Now you've got however many, you've got like 10 different companies.
Mhm.
You don't want this formula to count from row 1 to row 1092. You want it to count Babelset and then Brainbox and then whatever companies come after that, but you want it to stop counting when it reaches the end of the rows marked Babelset because you only want it to count for that company. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes.
Yeah. So that's what that group by, I found this very confusing when I first studied this. That's what that group by is you're telling the formula, I want you to stop once you get to the end of the company and you find a new value, then start over. Okay. So from how do we calculate the weekly change in units from last week to this week? So let's just use January 3rd to January 10th.
We will subtract the sales from 10th and sales from the 3rd.
Yes. So go open up that active row.
Where is it? The
Right there. You know, you're right on it. Active row.
active row, this one. Yeah, open this up.
Yeah.
And then choose sales.
Okay. No.
Units.
What does the instruction say?
Units sold.
Yeah.
So choose current active.
There you go.
units sold. Mine
All right. So units sold minus what?
previous row.
Yep. Row minus 1.
Units sold.
There you go.
Is this it?
Should do it. Run it and see if it works.
Okay. The first one stays the same. For the second one, the difference is about 12,000. That's correct. For week number 3, they have
Oh, one problem. Okay, so look at the first row weekly change.
it stays
Do you think the units sold for the last week in December was 0?
no.
Probably not, right? So we just got a false value. We just said, hey, we sold 186,000 or 18,600 more units than last week, when really last week's value wasn't 0. It was just last year. Okay, so go to number of rows and values for rows that don't exist.
Where is that? Values don't exist.
Yep, right there. Nope, you were just on it. Values for rows that don't exist.
Okay, here. All right.
Yeah. Now set that to null. There you go. Now run it. See if that fixes it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So now our weekly change for the year, you know, if we're only looking at this year, hey, that we're not even going to factor in the weekly change for that first week. Okay. So now we have accurate numbers for weekly change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now it should be fairly easy. How many weeks did the company BrainBox have a negative number for weekly change? So simple compound filter should tell you that.
Shall I do filter or shall I do some logical checks? Maybe the filter, you're right. If I bring a filter here, how many weeks,
Filter's the simplest way. Yeah.
how many weeks did BrainBox? So the company must be BrainBox, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Equals BrainBox. Change this to a custom filter. Okay.
Yep.
BrainBox and decrease in units sold from the previous week. And weekly change will be a negative number, right?
Yep.
And weekly change is less than 0.
Yep.
Is it a correct logic?
Good to me.
Okay. Yes. And how
We got 24. That checks.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. I think I understand this too more, but probably I need
Good.
to practice this a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, you'll find those on the advanced exam. You won't find, it's like multi-row, multi-field formula. You won't find anything more complex than what you just did.
Okay.
So it's super basic. It's just, you know, do you understand the group by for categories where you're calculating within the category? Do you understand the, you know, just how to subtract, how to do like a running total, how to subtract one row from the next? It's basically like that. And then, yeah, multi-field is just, do you understand how to apply a formula to everything? Is that one of the guys'
Yeah.
workflows?
No, this is what he did for the test that the students took last week.
Yeah.
This is the assessment results we know, but for completion, I want to show you his completion starts from here. So he brings the assessment result data and then he's doing some extra course code matching for some reason. But what I didn't do, he has a different logic. He's labeling each student whether the student took the test or didn't take the test. So he's filtering them.
Mhm.
I don't know what join equals 1. What is his join? I don't know. But
That looks like a Boolean.
he created a maybe column called join. He didn't. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's a Boolean thing, but join. If he doesn't have a column called join, then he brings them together, stacks those two groups of students. So he has this multi-field formula here.
Mhm.
What happens is, let me see. He's bringing all the enrollment file. So the one that I showed you before, the student enrolled in the school system. he's taking these students, and this is what he used the multi-field formula. He brought all the fields which are in text data type, right?
Mm.
And then expression is if the current field is null, then null, else current field. And if. Do you understand what is he doing here?
Yeah, so he's taking, so there are fields that have the word null written into them,
Mm,
apparently.
mm.
So he's just converting those into like the field value of null. Does that make sense?
If it is already null, why are we converting them to null?
But it's not null. It's a string that says null.
Oh,
Okay, so see in your results pane, that middle name, row 7, that's an actual null value
mm,
within the Alteryx database.
mm-hmm.
But if it just says null in capital letters, that's a string. That's not a null field. So whatever database he's pulling it from obviously had some fields that said NULL, null.
So the reason instead of using a regular formula, he used multi-row formula is because he wanted to change multiple fields at a time.
Because he wanted it to apply to the entire database.
Because for formula sheet, you can formula tool, you can only change one column at a time, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
having access to this tool, he's able to replace the nulls in a lot of columns at a time.
Yeah, so obviously he only did string fields, which I don't know what kind of file is that coming out of.
It's a CSV file.
Okay, well, so they're all strings. But yeah, so he basically just applied that to everything.
Yeah. So you're
Everything in the file. If there is a stated string null value, he turned it into an actual database null value.
yes. Now I think I understand his work a little bit more. And then
Mm.
he's joining the enrollment file with the student information, whether the student took the test or did not take the test. And then once he joins them, if the campus contains virtual, or it's just for the virtual school, that's an exception. Which one?
He's just changing the verbiage.
And then for his report, oops, what did I do? I accidentally clicked on something. All right, yeah, now he has a table for each student, whether the student took the test or didn't take the test. Okay. You know, I understand his workflows a lot better compared to my last year experience, which is nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay, thank you. I think are we done here?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that was more productive than going over the silly shit with the filter tool. Sorry, pardon my language, but
no. I think what you did was great, and you know, this is something they already canceled. So now I learned something I am going to use. Wonderful.
Cool.
And
good.
Because they also canceled Advanced Data Prep 1, maybe I can work on that on my own. I think I have the materials if it is not missing anything.
Yeah.
I can just check back with you, but I'll be super busy tomorrow. And
okay.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so I will be around. Tomorrow is once a month we get something called Focus Friday. I guess it's first Friday of the month always. But it's, so it's like we don't schedule any meetings. But I still do work. So yeah, if you hit me up, if you just send me an email or something, it's just not, we're not teaching any classes. Actually, I think they might have scheduled classes for tomorrow, but I think they did that before they realized that they should have deconflicted. But so we don't do anything like internally with each other as a company on that Friday. So it's like, hey, if you want to study, you want to work on exercises, whatever. So
that's nice. I think that's what I'm going to do for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I have to work on some other reporting things for them. So but hopefully maybe next week, if I have a chance to, first I need to have time to go through the folder on my own. Then I can combine my questions. But thank you
Okay.
for everything.
Awesome.
Take care.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good seeing you. Bye.